You're here, Agent Coulson of S.H.I.E.L.D. You've come to save us.
Yeah, just to clarify, where is here, who is us, and from what?
Have you ever flown a spaceship?
You know the answer to that question.
What do they want with us?
All they ever want. Submission.
We should split up.
Oh, hell. Haven't you ever seen an alien movie?
It's the best way to cover the most ground.
That's exactly what they say before they get picked off one by one. And you know who the first one will be.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns on a new night, Friday starting December 1st on ABC.
Hey everybody, new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., let's break it down. So if you didn't know, they're in outer space now. They're doing a lot of Captain Marvel, Infinity War adjacent stuff, so I'll explain sort of the Kree-Skrull War, what's going on with the villains of the series, and sort of adjacent to that, what might be happening with the Inhumans characters now that they've wrapped up their run, because I don't think that that's going to get a season 2. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There'll be giveaway stuff at the end of the video too, because we still have a whole bunch of movie stuff going on. But the big thing first, if you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a while, Coulson got mysteriously abducted along with the other people at the end of last season. They seemed humanoid, but he just woke up on this spaceship in this shot here, staring at this asteroid belt, like, what the hell is going on? So right away, the immediate theory was that we were doing Agents of S.W.O.R.D., which is just the space-based version of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was a way to switch things up before Infinity War and do more cosmic things. So they did a New York Comic-Con panel where they answered some specific questions. They did say they are not doing Agents of S.W.O.R.D. You know, whatever this organization is going to be called, it's not S.W.O.R.D. They're going to be a slightly different group, but the antagonist of the trailer is, one, the alien-looking monster, which might be some sort of Kree hybrid, or it could be one of the Brood, along with normal Kree soldiers. So if you haven't watched S.H.I.E.L.D. in a couple seasons, refresher, that's how they explain Coulson coming back from the dead after he was killed during the Avengers movie. Nick Fury experimented on Kree soldiers to take their blood and turn it into a measure of last resort for dead Avengers. So if somebody like Thor or Captain America were to die, they needed an Omega solution to bring them back to the battlefield so that they could win the day. So the magic potion they created was what was used to bring Coulson back to life, but it was this crazy traumatic experience. So that was their sort of crossover with the Kree Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, because Guardians of the Galaxy was the real introduction to the Kree. But now the thing that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing, because we're getting ready for Infinity War, is it's pushing into Kree-Skrull War, which is Captain Marvel territory. I'll talk about Captain Marvel stuff in a minute too, because that's more S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury crossover, which is also more Coulson crossover, but that's set back during the 90s, so it's a little bit different. In present day, we're ramping up for Thanos to start collecting the Infinity Gems, so space is turning into this very divided territory where you have people that support Thanos and people that are trying to avoid him. So it just allows them to do Infinity War stuff without having to worry about direct crossover, because most of the Infinity War stuff is going to be happening on planet Earth, then they move into outer space, and you'll probably see more of that during Avengers 4. So the extra characters that they've added, this Star-Lord looking character here might wind up being Jack Flag, who was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little while in the comics. He's sort of your Han Solo roguish character, sort of like the stand-in for Star-Lord. Maybe they'll tease some chemistry with Daisy's character. She's like, you know, the young ingenue on the show. So typically when you bring in a young male character that looks kind of like Han Solo, you have to assume that that's who they're intending her to have chemistry with. The actor's name is Jeff Ward. He just teased that he's a magnetic, soft-spoken, charismatic guy, which reads a lot like Star-Lord, who he himself, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, is based a lot on the Han Solo character. Just very roguish, charismatic guy in outer space who's, you know, relatively redeemable but does a lot of bad things. But the thing with Captain Marvel, obviously I don't think that Brie Larson is going to be anywhere near this TV show. You just have to remember that Captain Marvel is largely based in and around the Kree-Skrull War during the 90s, and that's sort of like the 100 Years' War. It just goes on and on and on. So that part of space is sort of in perpetual conflict, so that's really where you get into the Kree stuff they're teasing in this trailer, just like this ongoing war that Ghost Rider was talking about last season. So again, catch up. If you didn't watch the end of last season, Ghost Rider came back at the end and told Coulson that he'd been on other planets fighting in this crazy space war. Now they've revealed one of the big sides of that through the Kree, so obviously the Skrulls are always the other side of that. So I'm really happy that S.H.I.E.L.D. is able to do stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how they tackle all that lore and how they weave in Captain Marvel Infinity War Easter eggs. So if you've been watching my Infinity War videos since Comic-Con, they basically made this huge announcement that Captain Marvel Kree-Skrull War set in the 90s between the Infinity War movies, because one, it opens up a whole new group of characters. We've never done the Skrulls in the Marvel Universe, now they're this big new antagonistic group, but it also explains why Captain Marvel wasn't around for the events of the first Avengers movie, why she wasn't around during Phase 1 and Phase 2, because she was still in outer space policing this Kree-Skrull war in a different part of the galaxy. So just don't be surprised if when we get to the Captain Marvel movie, you see a lot of similarities to the stuff they tease with this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story. And the cool thing about the Captain Marvel movie is that because Nick Fury is going to be in the 90s and have both of his eyes, he's probably going to lose one of those eyes during the Kree-Skrull War, we might also get some more Coulson at the beginning of that movie too. I'm assuming if they do go into deep space during that movie, then Coulson will only be featured on planet Earth at the beginning of the movie in like brief scenes like, oh my god, Coulson's back, but it's in the 90s, so he hasn't gone through all the events of the Avengers yet, so that's why he's still alive. But for everybody that wants to see Coulson in the movies again, that is the place to do it. The whole thing about S.H.I.E.L.D. this season is that it's taking the time slot that Inhumans had. So originally they were going to premiere it in January next year, but I think because Inhumans just performed so poorly, they wanted to speed things up. ABC's like, please don't bail on our network, so they moved the premiere up to December. There are 22 episodes. I don't know if there's going to be a break at the end of the year, because originally when they were going to premiere in January, it was going to be an unbroken run. It was going to be 22 weeks with no break. So I don't know how many episodes they're going to air before the end of this year before they go on break and come back in January. Maybe like a 1 or 2 week break, we'll find out. But because I don't think that the Inhuman show is going to get a season 2, they can bring any of those characters that they want onto Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the later episodes. Now they probably already shot like the first half of the season, but there's 22 episodes, so you still have all that story in the back half to work them in if you want. And for those of you asking about Ghost Rider, yes, I definitely think that he'll come back, but because of the new Disney streaming service, I know everybody's been asking for a Ghost Rider Netflix show. If they wind up doing a Ghost Rider show, it will go on that Disney streaming service, and that's not going to drop till 2019. So I think we'll find out more about what's happening with the Ghost Rider character in the Marvel Universe later next year. Like they'll say, okay, we're planning on making a Ghost Rider TV show, or they'll say, no, we're just going to have him come back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every season. So just let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about all this? Them doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in space, pushing into Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity War territory. It should be a lot of fun. This also explains why they're not around for a lot of the movie stuff. They're like, why isn't S.H.I.E.L.D. helping out with what was happening during Spider-Man Homecoming? Now they can say it's because we were captured and taken into space and drummed into this Kree-Skrull war. But what'll happen is I have new Thor Ragnarok to post this weekend. I'll do a video for all the deleted scenes. There was a whole bunch of Odin that they cut out of the movie, so that'll post on Sunday. I have a new Flash Prophecy video to post next. That'll be later tonight. And then obviously next week we have all the Punisher and Justice League stuff dropping. So it's a really good time for comic book people. But I'm still giving away IMAX gift certificates. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'll announce the winner when I post that Thor deleted scenes video tomorrow. You can click here for my non-spoilery Justice League reaction, and you can click here for my new Punisher trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.